like to call to order the Douglas Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for Wednesday, August 6th at 7 p.m. The first agenda item is a public hearing for 6 Legacy Circle LLC, case number 2025-09, number 8 Legacy Circle, applying for a special permit. The date of the application is July 17th, 2025, and the following was posted in the town hall and also advertised in the Worcester Telegram and Gazette. And it reads as follows. The Town of Douglas Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, August 6, 2025, in the Douglas Municipal Center Resource Room, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. To hear the following application. It's a public hearing for 6 Legacy Circle LLC has filed for a special permit pursuant to MGL Chapter 40A, Section 9, and the Douglas zoning bylaws, Section 9.3, Appendix A, Section 3.1, retail establishment for sale of merchandise in an industrial zone district, for the addition of a retail component to a wholesale construction and landscape materials operation allowed by right. The property is located at 8 Legacy Circle, Assessors Map 168, Parcel 8.6. Any person interested or wishing to be heard should appear at the time and place designated. A copy of the application is available for review during regular business hours in the Douglas Community Development Department, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. The applicant here?
Yep. Is it all right if we sit?
Yep. Please,
Yeah, that's why I cleared the spots for you.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, I'm Tom McIntyre, here on behalf of McIntyre Materials, McIntyre Loom, and the landowner 6 Legacy Circle LLC.
John Palmer, also here on behalf of McIntyre Materials, McIntyre Loom.
This is, we're not seeking a change in use, we're seeking an additional retail component to our existing uses. This might sound familiar, it's the 3rd time we've appeared before this board in the last 5 years for this same exact permit. We first got it at 470 Northeast Main. In 2023, we got one at 118 Davis Street, and now we're seeking it on, we're gonna move it to this lot, Lot 6, Legacy Circle. We think a very small portion of our business is retail sales, but we think it's an important component because it's, our neighbors, the citizens of this town that come in and pick things up a yard at a time. And I'll just take you through the factors that you all are supposed to consider in granting a special permit. So, number 1, traffic flow safety, including parking loading. It's going to be no real increase because of the retail use. No curb cuts needed, no driveway alterations, nothing like that. I don't think there's any possible way it could ever queue onto a public way. Second, social, economic, community needs served by the proposal. It's a way for the residents in this town and surrounding towns to get, beautification products and things for the yard and otherwise make their yards look nice, and we think that's a positive impact. Number 3, adequacy of utilities. There's going to be no impact on existing utilities or public services. I don't see any need for fire or police issues, or at least it's going to be no more than the uses by right or the existing use at 118 Davis. Neighborhood character. It is an industrial subdivision road, Legacy Circle. You probably have driven by and have seen it. It's going to fit right in with the character of this. Impacts on the natural environment. I think our proposed use area is likely outside all environmentally resourced areas, but nevertheless, we did in 2022 receive a what do you call it? Order of conditions, right? Yeah, we applied for notice intent with Concom, and that lot is subject to that order of conditions, and I don't see this changing anything we're doing. And number 6, potential fiscal impact, town service tax base, and again, it's not going to negatively impact the town services. It's sort of the same thing, and I think what we're planning on doing is we procured a nice office trailer, move it over there, set up some bins, and really just operate the same way we have been for the last 10 years in Douglas, just at this now new location. I think that just, I guess in some, we think it's consistent with our by right uses. It's a very minimal addition, but an important one. And I think frankly, this type of retail sale belongs in an industrially zoned parcel. That's all I had. Do you have anything?
No,
like
that's
that?
excellent.
So it'd be an operation similar to what you had on Northeast Main Street?
Yes. Yep.
Different bins and,
Yep. Yep. Just a series of bins with different products and,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. All right. Are there any board members that have questions for the applicant?
Just got a question. Are you transferring from Davis Street, where your current location, and moving over to this new location is the plan?
That would be
Or you
the
gonna-
plan, yep.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you're going to run two.
No, we're going to try to put it all,
Okay.
Ideally, hope we get it done this upcoming spring of 2026 is when we're hoping to accomplish this move.
Yeah.
Or at least be open.
Yeah, no, just for the clarification. That just
Thank you,
helps us
yes.
understand.
Anybody else?
I have a couple of questions. I don't know if Margaret or anybody else has any before I get into it.
Just one of my thoughts is, so this was already previously approved by the planning board through site plan review years ago?
Sorry.
Yeah, the big development, the entire development?
Yep, this parcel that would move it on had an existing site plan review. It was a site plan / earth removal permit to bring it down to the finished grades.
So for the big subdivision, traffic impacts were
Oh, yes.
investigated back then?
Correct.
And so in your change of use here, you did say somewhere in here that the amount of traffic due to retail is almost negligible for what you plan on doing, okay?
I think that's fair. Yeah. And just to clarify, I don't really think of it as a change in use, except a slight additional use, I guess. We're not supplanting any uses or getting rid of any of the permits we previously got. We're just, this is another one to stack on top, so.
Okay. So after approval, if you did get approval through this board tonight, is there anything else you have to do in the permitting process, or is this it, just this?
We believe this is it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The wholesale is by right, so
Yep.
you're just doing the same thing, just selling at retail.
Exactly.
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't see any big deal about retail versus wholesale. That makes no difference to me. Just in prior applicants that came about, and I understand you have 3 different properties, but those are different situations. Now we're talking about this situation. On a commercial or an industrial, typically it goes through the planning board for site plan review for a change of use, right? So let me finish.
Well, yeah, that was.
You said that it went through it for earth removal to bring it down to grade and stuff like that, and to create this subdivision. I would think that's what the site plan review was for. Now you want to move your operation over there, which makes perfect sense to where you're at. I'm in agreement with you, so I'm not going somewhere you don't want me to. But you're changing the operation somewhat over where you're at, right? So you're gonna do it for retail, which brings the public in. I would be interested to see from the town side if it does trigger a site plan review. And you mentioned the trailer and the bins and stuff like that. Now, we gave you a variance on Northeast Main Street about how close you were to the property line with the bins. I remember all that nonsense. We can't give you approval for a trailer. That's a building department thing. That's nothing to do with us. We can't dictate whether or not you can operate out of a cardboard box or a brick building. We do use variances, we do dimensional variances, and some special permits. And I'm only saying that so you don't leave here thinking that, all right, you're good, you're off and running, and you're leaving with the reliance that we said you were all set. I don't know if you need these other things. I just want you aware of it, and I want the rest of my members to consider that when it comes time to make a decision. That it could be, not to get ahead of us, but it could be a decision contingent on clearing up those issues to make sure that it's not something that we're giving you bad information or putting you into a direction that you needed something else. So I don't know what community development said to you. They don't typically get involved in us on this stuff. We're hearing an appeal of a decision most of the time. This is something different, just applying for a special permit for that variance, for that retail. Yeah, so.
Is there an office trailer there now?
There is not one there now.
There's not,
No.
okay.
It's currently at 470 Northeast Main Street.
Oh, yeah, okay. So we'd just be voting on allowing them to do a retail operation there. Anything outside of that, trailer, whatever, would
The other department.
be by...
Right, and I just wanted to make sure that was clear, so we didn't misinform the applicant. So I started off my whole thing that I'm not opposed, and it makes perfect sense. I don't even know why we even talk about whether or not you can sell something in commercial and industrial. It seems like a silly question to me, but that's how they set up the rules, right? So,
I'll just 100% note it
Yep.
and acknowledge.
yeah.
Anybody else? No other board members? Is there anybody in the room that has a question or comment on this? Sir? Just need to identify yourself for the minute taker.
Jeremy Flansburgh, 63 Monroe Street, and I also own 73 Davis Street, which is a direct abutter to this. I did meet with Tom, Mr. McIntyre today, to see what side of the road this Legacy Place is, what side number 8 is on. First off, Legacy Place was put in, quite frankly, at the time when it was put in, I don't think that McIntyre owned it. It was leased. And now, for probably over 20 years, the parcel of land in the back, which was owned by John Taylor, or Del Taylor, as people know him by, he needed 3 feet of my father's property at 53 Monroe to get a right-of-way, because he had no frontage. He was 3 feet short of frontage. Now, if you go to the end of Legacy Place, at the end of the cul-de-sac, it just juts out towards behind my father's farm. I don't think he has the frontage, to be quite frankly. He never had the frontage. How this is happening, and if he is able to get the frontage, there's a big jog in there, because I own to the other side of the gas line, the side closest towards West Street. So he may have the frontage on this 8 that, I'm sorry, I get here late. He's combining 3 lots.
This is for one lot.
Okay, all right. I thought I overheard that. I'm sorry. But long story short, I don't think he has the frontage, nor if he did on lot 8, I don't think he has the rearage, or maybe even the sidage. Possibly the sidage, but I don't think he has the rearage.
We have a plot plan, if you'd like to look. He has adequate frontage and area. If you want to take a look at it, you're welcome to it.
This is a recently
Absolutely.
approved, this is a recently approved subdivision that went through the planning board process.
So this frontage is on Legacy Circle that was granted via the planning board when they created the subdivision for this industrial park. So his previous,
This is not correct, because I own to the other side of the gas line.
this is just what's before us, and they're requesting a change of, or an additional use.
But do you understand?
Yeah, that's
Right. If that point went to the other side of the gas line, then he didn't have his frontage.
The only thing I could tell you is we have a plot plan here, stamped by a registered engineer, and we're not in a position to say
yeah, it's outside
that
of our
it's
scope.
right or wrong.
Correct. It's outside.
So, okay, anybody else that'd like to speak on this application? Okay. I should have said this earlier, but voting on this case would be Mr. Palmer, Mr. Fitzpatrick, myself. Last, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, Margaret and Ron. So those will be the 5 people voting. So if nobody else has any questions or comments in this case, entertain a motion
Mr.
to...
Chairman, I'm just a little confused. Who's not voting on this? Okay.
I know,
You just said his name, and I'm like...
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I'm not voting.
No problem.
I didn't want him to feel left out.
Yeah. You include him for a minute, then we kick him.
Yeah, that's it. Kick him to the curb after. So, if there's no other questions or comments on this application, entertain a motion to...
Make a motion to close the public hearing for case number 2025-09.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion by Mike to close the public hearing, second by Margaret. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing is closed. Would the board like to move and make a decision tonight?
I would.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you good?
Anybody have
Okay.
to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the special permit for retail sales for 6 Legacy Circle LLC 2025-09. With the contingency that you clarify that you don't need site plan review. I would want something back from the planning board to clarify that we don't have to, they don't need to do that, not us. They don't need to do that. And if we get something back, then we should have it back before they get the decision back to us anyways.
Right.
That's my motion, to approve it contingent on the fact that they clarify whether or not they need site plan review with the planning board.
And if you reach out to them, I'm sure they can just send a letter through the office and whatever. So Mike made a motion to approve it.
Second.
Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's approved.
And they're good to go.
If you want to just
Typically
touch
takes
base with the
us
planning
3 or
board.
4 weeks to get our decisions back. So,
Thank you.
But if you clear that up, it should be pretty straightforward for you.
Yeah, we need to get back to you.
Yep,
Have a good night.
thank you.
Next agenda item is a continued public hearing for Jason Randor, case number 2025-06, 284 Northwest Main Street, a special permit. Whenever you're ready, Mark, the floor is yours.
Good evening, Mark Annell Engineering here. Jason and Elise Randor, both property owners. Henry Lane is also in attendance, and the architect Jason Boudreau is here to be
And just for the minute taker, voting on this case will be Mr. Palmer, Mr. Fitzpatrick, myself, Mr. Stevens, and Mr. Forget.
And Margaret's recused herself.
Margaret has recused herself, correct.
So just a little bit of history. Since we were last here, we had the previous public hearing. We had discussed the location of the proposed main structure on the property. You may recall that we had moved the structure back, centered on the lot. The house got smaller and narrower, and we centered the house, main house, on the property. What was in need of additional information and/or notification and/or application material revisions were the status of the existing cottages there today. And you may recall that at the last hearing, the applicant agreed to remove all of the material above the foundation, keep the existing foundation, and put a pergola-style roof on top of it. At the last hearing, we didn't have sort of architectural drawings associated with it. We had, the neighbors hadn't been notified of the change, and the material submitted with the initial application didn't match what these two structures are doing. So since we were last here, and in your packet you'll see, we did send out a letter to the abutters, certified mail. We have all the green cards came back. Takes those, but they're here for your records. We also supplied a revised plan, survey plan. It was also discussed to add a lot more dimensions to the structures, to the roof overhangs, and to the table that was on the plan. So there's a new revised plan dated 7/29 on file with the board. There was also a new application where all of the dimensions that are referenced on this plan, whether it be with the new house and the existing structure, all of those dimensions are on the application now. And the letter that was sent to the neighbors is also in the package.
Yep, this is it here.
Correct. So we feel as if we did what the board wanted to, and we're here for any questions or comments the board may have.
Okay. Are there any board members that have questions on this application?
I can make a couple of comments. I appreciate you amending the application to reflect your proposed change to it. I think it's just fair to the abutters to understand what you're trying to do. And the building inspector asked you to put the 10-foot offset, show the 10-foot and the overhang offsets on there, which you did that, so you completed that part of it. Looking through this pergola thing, and I was pretty clear on my comments that because of this new ADU law, this could easily be converted to something that's a pre-existing non-conforming because it's within the setbacks, right? With all that stuff being said, can you just explain this drawing on page A102? So that I understand what you have in mind. You stated that the upstairs is going to be seating for the pergola, and then the pergola seating up there, and then the basement is going to be for storage, or the lower level is going to be for storage. That's correct, right?
I'm going to have to defer to Jason Litro, the architect, and the homeowner.
Yeah, he just shook his head no, so he didn't agree.
No, I can tell you the intended plan. The intended plan.
Yeah, just state your name, please.
Jason Randor, 284 Northwest Main.
Yep.
So no, this is a single level. There aren't multiple levels on this. This is just an open air area here with just a single level as the basement itself. So the only place for seating is this. This is just a raised roof above to allow for open air to exist because the basement itself is only approximately somewhere ranging in the vicinity of 5.5 to 7 feet in height, varying from the slope. So there isn't an upstairs. This is all open air. These are just pillars that are supporting the center. If there's a beam that needs to be placed to support the roof line.
You show a timber truss. So that's why I'm not following the plan?
Oh yeah.
So that's a timber truss that would span the whole thing from sidewall to sidewall. And then you're showing footings in the center of it. And then there's another note that's...
These are
I can't read one.
The existing footings here. Those are existing.
No, these ones here, you're saying that they'll support the roof. You're showing the timber truss here. And over here, pre-engineered pavilion system. So, I don't know if your floor system or whatever's in there. You're showing center support.
We're not improving on the floor itself right now. It isn't part of our intent.
Yeah, so looking at the, for full transparency, I've been a builder for 35 years, so I'm looking at this a little differently than some may, right? So the first thing I looked at, the way I interpreted, I just explained that you had two different levels in there. I'm like, he's got 3'6" on the top. He can't, well, if he sits in the chair, he's not going to see out, and he's going to be in between the purlins, so that doesn't make sense. And then the distance from the basement floor to the top of what I thought was the finished floor is 8'3", and a habitable room has to be a minimum of 87 inches, is it? 88 inches. So I'm like, all right, so that doesn't work. So what is it that I'm looking at, right? And when you said the lower level would be for storage, right, and this is how it was described at the last meeting, you had the pergola on top and then the lower level for storage. No, it was, yeah.
Yes.
That's how it was explained at the last meeting, so. There is no lower and upper level, it's all one level now, he's saying. And the more confusion came in because from the end elevation facing the lake, you have a big picture window and you have a big door, I'm assuming is a picture window. And then on the side elevations, it shows 2 more windows on that side, right? The top left picture I'm referring to and the bottom left picture I'm referring to. So now I'm back to my original thought that this could easily be converted into an accessory unit, right? And I see you shaking your head. I'm just trying to explain where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to make an argument about it. Under your application, you applied for under 3.4.5, right? 3.4.5, I think you applied, and that's reconstruction after demolition or catastrophe, and we're not demolishing the house.
Okay.
This could easily be converted into a structure. And so that would be my concern about our original thought when we heard this the first time was because that was going to be converted into a shed, that we wanted that building raised in order to approve this particular building. I think we're increasing the nonconformity of the lot by keeping 2 structures on it. We're somewhat increasing it by allowing the new structure to impact both sidelines and actually the front one, because you're not 50 feet, you're 40 feet from it. We're not 25 from either side, we're 10 and 11 feet, whatever it figures out to be. And then we have this other one that's almost completely out of the building envelope. That's just my thoughts and comments. So,
Okay, but it seems,
You just need to identify
You have to
yourself.
identify
I'm sorry,
yourself.
Henry Lane. I understand the concern, and I know the town's been sort of burned with a similar situation, but it seems to me, having disclosed it up front, it would be fairly simple to put a very clear condition in the special permit saying this cannot be used for human occupancy, so that there's no question about what was intended, and, the building inspector doesn't have to jump through hoops. It's, just clear on the face of it that it's not going to be for human occupancy.
I think we've already done that in the past, and one case had nothing to do with the other one, so
No.
you brought it in, so I'm just responding
No,
to it.
I understand, but I think it's...
But I'm just telling you what I'm looking at. To be honest with you, I think it's a lot of stuff on one lot, and that's very small, right? So that's my thought.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but
Yep.
it's the lakefront,
Okay.
That's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. This house isn't particularly large by lake, when you look at other lakefront developments. I don't think they're overbuilding the site.
Yeah, as I stated at the last meeting, I have 0 objections to the house because they've made the effort to try to work with the process and make it a more acceptable, I guess, is lack of a better description, on the lot. The house isn't an issue at all. It's that second
No,
structure.
I understand that, but obviously it's a very desirable amenity to have, that kind of a, like a gazebo or a, whatever, just a large patio closer to the water.
Then build a patio.
Well,
no,
essentially what they're doing, they're just trying to,
You brought it up.
they're trying to save a little money, that's all.
So if you call it a gazebo or a covered patio, and you have to remove the original building, to me that means fit foundation and all. Anything they build should be built above ground surface, whether it's a patio of ground surface or a pergola or whatever they do should be above ground, not including the initial foundation. That should be gone completely.
That would be, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
That would be up to the building inspector. We wouldn't dictate as to
Okay.
what he would approve and not approve. That would fall under the CMR, the building regulations. I would assume that he would require them to prove that they have frost protection, and that's typically what happens. What he does, I don't know. Again, we don't get involved in that, but whether or not the whole thing comes out or part of it comes out, if it was approved, that would be up to the building inspector.
Should we get town council's opinion?
I would, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to say to me that's going to change what I just said, right? So I'm just being very honest and telling you what's in my head, trying to get you in there. I'm not trying to be difficult about it. And I get it. I grew up on a lake. I understand what lake living is like and all that stuff. So I hear what you're saying. If I had it my way, I'd have a lake house with horses on it because my wife has horses and I like the lake. But guess what? I don't have a lake. It's just what happens. It's just, regardless of what happened with prior things, I think it's a big ask to try to have a structure like that on the property. That's all I'm getting at. How big is this thing anyway?
30 by 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, 32 roughly.
Yeah.
And we are just trying to be cautious because we've gotten burned, as you know, and
We know it's a big ask, but we think you're up to the task.
The way I look at it, the most somebody can say to me is no, so I ask all the time, right? So it's also a different consideration I take personally into what I do. It's whether or not it's the right thing or the wrong thing. But I look for consistency, and as well as the neighborhood. How's the neighborhood set up, right? I don't know. I'm still stuck on the fact of that structure. How far out of the, it's already a non-conforming lot by standard. You have a very small building envelope, which, unless it's the middle of the house, the bathroom's probably in it, right? But you made it work. You were close to the road, asked you to move it back. You did the house next door. It was 60 feet. You came in 40. I'm not hung up on the extra 10 feet, to be honest with you. I think it's reasonable. You have plenty of parking, off-street parking, and that makes sense to me. The only thing that don't make sense to me is that thing. And I'm just being honest about it. But hopefully I'm not swaying anybody's opinion. I'm just giving mine. Somebody keeps trying to pipe in there.
Hi, everybody. This is Jason Plutro. I'm the architect on the project. I don't know if this is the right time for me to interject some comments about design, but, one of the reasons why we're looking at the pre-engineered, heavy timber structure is that it would relate to the exposed columns that we're going to have on the backside of the house. So there is some relationship that we're trying to create to connect the two, not physically connect, but to visually connect the two structures. And the reason why we wanted to retain the existing foundation field, the stone foundation, as well as to try to minimize the, impacts on that end of the site, as you get closer to the water. So those were kind of two, underlying aspects, why you see the structure, the size timber post that we're using. And the overall height, I believe on the low end was 16 feet. So we didn't want to come up too high either, right, to compete with the house that's up higher on the slope. So we wanted to try to keep it as, not this overimposing open air structure. We wanted to try to minimize it as much as possible to relate to the existing dimensions. So I just wanted to let you know that's where those sizes came from and what we're trying to do there.
I also see this as 20 by 40, not 20 by 30. What's that extra 8.5 feet at the back on the columns? That's part of the existing building?
can you answer that, sir?
what's his name, Jason?
Jason, yeah, it's
Jason, what's those timber columns that you have out past the structure? What are those for?
come down.
Yeah, this is all.
So you're only using this part?
Correct.
Yeah.
You're muted, Jason.
Yeah, I can't really see what you're pointing to, unfortunately.
So on page A102, on the lower right-hand side, you have 3 timber columns that are, I can't read the note on it. What are those 3 big squares you have out there? It appears to be wood timber columns.
On the perimeter of the structure?
To the right-hand side, bottom right-hand.
Bottom right-hand picture.
What's that?
Yeah. So
What is it?
what it says, I had to zoom it in. What it says is existing posts and footings of
This is a crawl space.
the upper level extension to remain.
Yeah, there's existing concrete posts that are in between the stone foundation. So that's what that's showing. There's posts on every corner, the outer corners, plus intermediate posts along the length of the structure. So those are staying. That's what that note's for. I think that's what you're referring to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
With the zoom in.
Yeah, so it's like, the structure, what was the existing floor was supported by these concrete, looks like 6x6 posts, and then the stone was in between the posts. And our intention is, we keep the stone and the concrete posts as they are. We're not adding any new posts at the lower foundation, and we're only adding this pre-engineered structure, which is up at, as Jason said, about 6 feet 3 inches, I think, at the bottom of the slope, the tall end. I think that's, if I recall, it's about 6'3" to the top of the stone there. So everything that's new is from the top of the stone up. Everything that's from top of the stone down is basically existing to remain. And we're just removing the doors, the windows to make it, an open air structure. Sorry, I can't see what you're pointing to in the drawing, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. So thank you, Jason.
Any other questions or comments?
Well, one of the comments is the new application submitted.
Right,
Is only,
right here.
is only signed by
Can you pass that over to Mr. Rand?
the engineer.
You never signed the original application, signed by your representative.
Not signed by the applicant or owner.
I thought I had signed this. Yeah. Oh, you might have gotten a copy that didn't have the signature.
Okay.
Just sign it.
Well, if you want to sign it, then, yeah.
Just,
That's an easy one, right, Henry?
yeah, so,
Easy fix.
It was a good distraction.
yeah. I think from our last meeting, just to weigh in on this, is I thought only half of the foundation was going to remain for the purpose of the pergola or the gazebo setup and stuff like that versus a full structure. And these 3 piers that are in the back that were highlighted on we just discussed, are those there to support the gazebo?
No. So I think the intention was so as to not disturb the earth and get heavy equipment in there to pull those existing concrete pads out. They were just the crawl space and the addition above it is all going to be removed, but just leave it flush with the ground, that those existing concrete piles just remain. That was like an 8 by 20 addition, which is where the bathroom was. Yeah, bathroom, kitchen, yeah.
Yeah.
Jim and Mike, would you like to get town council's opinion before we?
Yeah, I think we should find out.
Okay. All right, if you want to make a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion that on the Randor residence, what is the number?
284.
284, we would get town council's opinion on
The second structure.
the second structure on the property.
All right. Okay. We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. A motion by Mr. Palmer, seconded by Mr. Fitzpatrick. All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Aye.
The,
So-
okay, good.
In order to do that, we're going to have to continue the hearing, which, where are we time-wise? Yeah.
Oh, when's the next meeting we'd have?
No, we have, so we're all set time-wise because it's 90 days from the
Yeah.
close of the public hearing,
I think our next meeting would be on
September
3rd.
3rd.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, just a question.
Sure.
The question being posed to town council is whether or not, what's the specific question being posed to
I don't know.
town council? I'm just unsure.
Well, we're going to see if we're doing the right thing and allowing the second structure to stay on the property, or the foundation, and then build upon it.
Okay, nothing to do with being habitable by humans. It's not an ADU question. I'm not sure.
Well, I think,
Well, everything always has the potential of becoming an ADU, right? But that's not what's before us today, and I'll agree with Henry. He doesn't have to tell me and remind me. But the, I guess just to get a level of comfort, I personally don't need them because I already made my statement as to how I feel about that structure. And I don't think they can tell me anything that's going to change my mind because of what I'm looking at, so.
Right. And I just asked so that the landowners may have some sort of clarity as to whether or not they would want to withdraw that part of the application, or if they want to proceed forward. I just don't know what clarification.
Yeah, that's a decision they need to make as to if they want to keep pursuing this, because this, not to speak for my other members, but after the last meeting and this meeting, this seems to be the only hang-up to prevent them from moving forward. So it's something, the board already voted to get, they get, 1 second.
5 minutes?
1 second. They get in some information from, or input from town council. But it's something I would think that they might want to just think about, that's all. I'm not telling them what to do, I'm just, again, being honest.
Could you give us 5 minutes just to confirm?
Yeah, sure.
all right, we don't have any bills or anything to sign.
Well, no minutes or nothing?
No, I don't see any minutes either.
All right, under discussion, let's talk about North Brown.
Yep.
Now, I looked at the plans in the building department.
The lighting plan?
And the light that was approved. And that's a very heavy cast aluminum plate. It's got a 10-inch bolt pattern to the bottom. Even one of our members of the audience would remember this, and there was a lot of detail on that. And the waiver from that and go to a sheet metal type light, I'm not in agreement with that personally.
Okay.
I would be along the same lines. I feel like you're almost going from a commercial, because it is, a bigger park, that you're going to a
Residential type.
Johnny homeowner.
Well, we're giving them an inferior product. We're agreeing to it. Now, we're giving them nothing. We're agreeing to an inferior product that the residents of that development are going to inherit.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Are you discussing,
North Brown.
excuse me?
North Brown project?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. We have it on discussion every single meeting, so it's not unusual for us to talk about. It's not an open part of the meeting, but that's up to the chairman how he wants to entertain that.
Okay.
But that light, it's got a cast aluminum head. It's very specific, and you can't tell me that in 20 years they went to all sheet metal and they gave up on cast aluminum. It doesn't happen. I think that the developers afforded to get what they originally agreed upon.
And if that's no longer available, it should be replaced with something
comparable.
Comparable with the metal and
That's a pretty basic
Quality,
design.
equal quality,
That's been around for 100 years.
Yeah.
They don't stop making that style. It's silly to even think that.
Yeah, even if there's a different maker and stuff like that, but I think that the metals, I think going from a commercial, because to more of a homeowner thing, it's just not the right thing, because that's actually in the roadway area.
Right.
And it's pretty critical. So I would, yeah.
And it was
I'd be-
intended to make it attractive.
Correct.
Same as the
Correct.
trees.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would agree with Mike, and if we want to,
It's got to be of comparable
Yeah.
material,
yeah,
style.
And appearance, look.
The other thing I would like to see, is we never touched back on it, is their creative math with where they stood at the end of Phase 3. Because the way I looked at it, when it was presented to us, it appeared that it had all the expenses of 90 units, but only the calculations of 60.
yeah.
So there was some funny math going on in there, it just didn't quite add up. And I would just like a little clearer picture as to how they came up with those numbers.
Yeah, the expenses rolled in quicker than the, but this the sales, you know what I mean? So,
It just didn't quite add up.
yeah,
So,
it seemed like we got two different,
and we jumped off that subject and we got derailed from it. I would like to just look at it and make sure that is an accurate accounting of where they stand.
I'd probably furthermore add to that if what they showed us and stuff, that would actually associate more risk of concerns regarding a project being finished on time and, or at the standard that it needed to be, if you're showing such a, deficit on the expenses and stuff like that. So it'd be in their hindsight just to say, give us a little more clarity in that area. So I would agree with Mike on that.
I don't know what the state regulations are. I know they have to produce that, but I wonder if it needs to be, like, signed by a CPA or something, audited.
Well, they can't just give us their cookbooks. They have to give us an actual accounting of it.
Yeah,
So it has to be by a CPA or somebody like that.
Yeah, and I think it has to go to the
I think the state over.
the state housing and stuff like that to certify.
On that, yeah.
Yeah, but it comes to the we've had in town some developers and stuff like that go bankrupt or several projects half completed or uncompleted or no top coat or missing bounds and stuff like that. So I think it's worthwhile to get the updated accounting.
And what's the story with the bond? Anything? Nothing's changed.
Nothing, and that's what was the next thing I was going to say, is I don't have much room for allowing the progression of Phase 4 until, if they don't have a bond in place, you need to fix all your other stuff.
That was the arrangement from day one.
Right.
Yeah.
That they
made it.
wanted and proposed.
Yeah.
So, the options are finish it or bond it or tri-party or whatever the case may
And
be.
then we had that other issue that came up about the total was 88 acres and then it became 67 acres or something like that. A little clarity on that would be good too. We might as well just do some housekeeping, clean up all these little issues that are hanging out there.
Yeah, and I think they're supposed to also work on the paving schedule and stuff like that. It's upcoming and stuff. So, but I've driven through there a couple times in the last few months and stuff like that, and a lot of the people that live there are happy with the area, but they're still waiting for it to be finished. It's like
I'm not going to deny that they put in effort. They are light years ahead of where they started. It was a very frustrating process at the very beginning. But we did get them moving, and we just want to get to the finish line at this point.
Yeah, I think that's standard with any subdivision. That's they always the initial disturbance and takeoff, and we've seen that with a lot of.
Well, the bigger ones are fine, but these houses are 31 feet apart.
Yeah, a little tight.
So
Yeah, what?
31 feet apart.
Yep.
That's the distance from the house.
The buildings?
So,
Yeah.
Correct.
yeah. And some people like living like that, which is fine. After dealing with people all day long, I like 3,000 feet apart.
100 acres.
It's a different world.
Right.
Different world.
The other, I think the other item that we had in a previous discussion was applicants being in sync with like conservation and planning and ZBA. We talked about, because some applicants can just submit to.
Oh, yeah, have them.
They can.
Yeah.
So under the rules in the town bylaws and stuff like that, if they come to us, they don't have to go anywhere else. If they go to conservation, they have to simultaneously apply everywhere else. And the problem, and we were sticklers with this before, because, and trying to protect the applicant to their disagreement, that if we said, okay, you can have it there, and they go to conservation, no, you can't have it there because now you have a problem. Right? So we always try to encourage them to go to conservation, get that cleared up, and come back. Right? And similar to this applicant, give them a little bit of feedback so they have some level of comfort going forward. So.
Henry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we've come to the unhappy conclusion that we're going to ask you to vote on the special permit with the condition that the existing building be removed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else that has any questions or comments after that?
No. With that being said, I would be willing to move to a decision tonight.
I think we need to close the public hearing first.
No, I know that, but I didn't make the motion for it. I just said that, so then you could say when you want to close the public hearing. Yeah.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Fitzpatrick to close the public hearing, seconded by Mr. Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. So,
Want me to do the honors?
do you want to do it? Go right ahead.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve case number 2025-06 for a special permit to raise the existing house and build the new residence per the plan, and note that that existing structure is going to be raised, that the proposed timber frame pavilion and all that is not included in this decision, just the existing primary residence on a plan by Allen Engineering and Associates, dated April 10, 2025, revised date. I'm going to go with the revision date of 6/12/25 because 7/29/25 has the pavilion on it. I don't know if that's acceptable, but that's what my motion is.
So the existing house will be completely removed?
Yeah. So
Foundation wall.
there's a revision. I just found it on my plan.
Maybe there's more than one plan floating around.
No, it's the same thing as we got, but it's, everybody does their things a little, oh, right down, yes. So on the first revised date of 6/12/25 was the house size and location.
Yep.
Did that show the current, the 40 feet and the
Yes.
11 and a half feet? It didn't show well, it showed 10 feet, it didn't show the overhang.
Correct.
No, it showed the 11 and a half feet, it didn't show the 10-foot overhang.
But it did show that the existing structure was staying. So
I got to think about my motion for a minute, because I just want to make sure that it's correct.
You probably want to include the most recent version, but still delete the, because that has
Okay.
the additional dimensions on it.
there's no
So I'm going to amend my motion,
Yep, go
Mr. Chairman.
ahead. Start over.
So I'm going to make a motion to approve case number 2025-06 for a special permit to build a new single-family residence per the plan by Allen Engineering and Associates, dated April 10, 2025, with a revision date of 7/29/25, with the exception that the existing structure that was intended, proposed to be a pavilion will be raised and eliminated from the site. Does that work?
You say raised.
Raised.
Yeah, that's whatever.
R-A-Z.
With a Z.
Completely removed.
Okay, just,
Yeah.
but the existing house and foundation to be removed?
Yeah, raised would mean the whole thing gone.
Okay.
Yep,
I just want clarification.
yep.
Okay.
Anything else?
Bring it back to finished grade, I guess.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Any other comments?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Fitzpatrick to approve the application with adjustments, shall I say. Seconded by Mr. Stevens. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Hopefully I
We'll
did that
get
right,
that.
Henry, but you'll fix me if I didn't.
we'll get that decision drafted as quickly as we can and get it to the town clerk.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you.
To remove the request to town council, just a point of reference. I think you
Well, we won't need it, so that'll go
I think you
away.
made a motion.
So,
Yeah.
just acknowledge to the applicants, appreciate your consideration.
Yeah. I'm gonna
You still got the cats?
grab Mark. We're all done with this one?
Yeah. Probably should have gone home.
Oh, yeah. What do I give the green cards to?
I'll take them.
You're gonna, yeah, he'll take them and put them with the stuff. Thanks for working through that, Mark.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Can I look at them after?
Please?
Yes, sir.
Look at them now if you'd like.
We need to close the hearing.
Already
We closed the public hearing, yeah, and we voted.
I was going to sit there just for...
Oh, Margaret's coming.
I know.
Yep. Got any other business?
No,
That's it?
yeah, we have no mail, we have no minutes,
Okay.
no vouchers.
Hey, good evening, everybody. James Conkey here. I'm a resident of North Village. Just wanted to follow up on the lighting conversation, as well as a number of other points. I believe you folks have an email that was sent over a couple weeks ago that we're supposed to go through during this meeting.
I'm not aware of that.
Sorry, Meyer.
I know you had a conversation with the Community Development Office, but there was nothing saying that we were going to have, that we were having anybody give us any information, or if you want to get on the agenda for the next meeting, we certainly could do that.
Okay, I sent over a list of kind of concerns that I had, both with the developer and the Haley Ward report that was provided and referenced during the last meeting.
Yep.
I didn't particularly ask for it, but I was told that this email was printed out and it was provided to everybody for this meeting for review.
Yeah, I do have.
I was hoping that we could go through that.
I do have a copy of your email. We do have a copy of it in it. But we have a running line for discussion, but because it's under discussion, there's no action that can be taken unless it's on an agenda item. So we typically would look through these concerns and complaints, and then if it's warranted, then we put it on to a future, most likely the next meeting, to address them. Some of these things that you bring up, and I haven't read through the whole thing because we're just moving on into this particular part of it. Some of these things are ongoing issues that we've been addressing probably for 2 or 3 years.
Thank you. Yeah. Sure.
Yep.
Okay, so how do we go about that? Would you guys like to discuss those items and, my point of view on them, or do we want to just get on the agenda for the next meeting to go through everything, or?
Yeah, if we can get on the agenda for next meeting, that'll give us, all the members, the time to review your letter, as well as any comments from Haley and Ward.
Yeah, so just a point is, like I just said, I didn't read your email, and I just read the very first thing, if you've been online for a couple minutes, the very first thing you're talking about is the light. And that's what we were just talking about in that little 5-minute recess that we had. That was the first thing that I brought up, was the light, the quality of the light. So this is on everybody's mind. It's not It's not something that's being ignored, is we're trying to get out and get through this process, which is not the easiest thing, but we'll get there.
And we can also invite the developer to the meeting, so if there are questions that
Correct. I think that's
other parties have.
What we're going to need to do is forward this email to the developer, so then they can address it appropriately, so they don't say that they have no time to look into it. So they don't do what I'm just did to you, right? I didn't even look at your email yet to give you a proper answer. So to afford them the opportunity, we forward the email to them, and then they can answer your comments.
Okay. So I will, I'll follow up additionally. I haven't formally put it into a list yet, but I have a pretty good laundry list of deficiencies that I appear to have found within the plans and specifications versus what's installed out here as well. So I'd like to, I'll get that over to you guys and we can have him answer everything at once, either next month or the following.
Okay, and we'll also send your list to our engineer, Haley and Ward, get their take on the comments that you have.
Yep, it's all fair. So our next meeting is September 3rd.
That's correct.
Is it possible for us to get a copy of that report that Haley and Ward prepared for you that you discussed at the last meeting?
Yep, if you want to contact the officer. Our staff is on vacation this week, but if you want to contact her, she can email you a copy.
And what should I ask for specifically?
Whatever you're looking for is public record as far as any reports. If you're looking for the most recent, what I understood you to say, you wanted the report from the last meeting, so you would look for the most recent reports from Haley and Ward. If you ask for them all, you're going to have a lot of paper.
Yeah. You may want the last
10 years
three.
worth.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay, so in terms of the lighting conversation, where does that land? I agree, and I appreciate that you guys want to, push back on the proposed fixture and ensure that we have a more quality fixture. Just kind of going through the history here. One page on the original plans had a kind of post and topper type fixture. Then along the way, there was a fixture more robust but more similar to what was proposed during the last meeting that was added to a different sheet in the plans. And I don't know, compared to that time, by the date, I assume it was later on, that these granite post fixtures were installed, which we currently have just a few of out here. That seems to be, I don't know where that came from because it's different than anything that's shown on any of the approved plans. Personally, I think that's probably the best type of fixture for us to have within the community. It's the granite post is going to stand up, better than any sort of concrete with anchor bolts that could, rust out or corrode over time, salt, weed whacking, all that sort of stuff. So where does that stand and how do we move forward with the developer and kind of rejecting the fixture that he proposed?
One of our concerns also was the height. I think those granite posts are like 8 feet high. And the original proposal, I believe, was 16, 17, 18 feet high, which would give better coverage by being high.
Yeah.
So
Were the originals supposed to be solar?
No.
Because he installed.
In 2009, solar wasn't popular. No.
And
That's when the agreement was done in 2009.
Yeah, and it wasn't. It's not about it being solar or not. It's just that the ones that he installed, they don't illuminate. I could illuminate more with my flashlight on my phone.
Right. And that's the whole point. So just for your benefit, what was your name again?
Online, James Conkey.
Ryan?
James.
Oh, James, I'm sorry. So, James, any change to the exterior and the common areas, the exterior of the buildings, the size of the buildings, the shape of the building, anything like that has to go through this board for approval, right? And we determine whether it's a minor or a major change. As far as whether or not it's a good idea to have granite bases. We've never made aware of that. I've been at every single meeting for this development since they put the first shovel in the ground. I never remember them coming forward and saying, we're proposing putting in a granite post, because I would have said, well, what kind of light are you putting on this infamous granite post, right? And how is it casting the light? Because there's a math problem to that, right? To figure out how it's going to work. So they have to come back.
I don't know if you guys received, I did a little bit of a lighting study based on the fixture that he proposed, and it seems that what has been proposed as a fixture based on the layout and quantity of street lights on the approved plan, it's woefully insufficient to cover the streets and the pedestrian pathways within the community.
Yeah, so our starting point has to be what was originally agreed on that set of plans, right? That's our delta. We start with that, and then we make a decision if it could have been inadequate back then. I don't know. I don't know what that was projected back then in comparison to now, but they have to be the same unless they come to us and they propose a change. And then we get input from people like yourself. Does this make sense for you? Does this help? We take the input and try to make a good decision based off of that.
I think we should continue the conversation next month when the developer's here to
absolutely.
give us their take.
I was just trying to help James understand the process, that's all, just so I didn't want him to leave frustrated.
My concern is, and I know it's been a number of years, I've only been in the community a few years, other people longer. How do we expedite this so we have adequate street lighting as we start to get shorter days and for the winter months? I mean, I almost went down a number of times last winter, early mornings, well before daylight, walking the dog. We should have adequate light as a community. It's really a serious safety concern.
Well, it's a topic right at the top of the list right now, and what we're trying to do is come to grips on an agreement what this fixture is going to be. They proposed the fixture in which you've seen and that you identified in here with the green shade. I think it's very insufficient in comparison to the original approved light fixture that was on the plan back in 2009 or 10, whenever it was finalized. So that's what I'm looking for, something of like kind and quality to go in there. Not speaking for anybody else at the table, but I think that we're pretty much aligned in that particular thought process.
Appreciate that.
We all have some sort of involvement in construction on a professional level in here, so we can appreciate doing the proper thing on the thing. We're not just nodding, oh, I guess that's the light. No, that's not the light. I think it's inadequate what was proposed. That's my personal opinion to it. I'm not trying to make them do any more than what they're supposed to do, but I want them to do what they're supposed to do. So.
Agreed.
So anyways, as the chairman tried to settle me down, we'll continue this to the next meeting. I would reach out to Jen probably a week or so before the meeting, get an update from her to see if it's going to be on the agenda and we have everything aligned so we can have a proper discussion.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Stevens, seconded by Mr. Fitzpatrick to adjourn
8:08.
at 8:08. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.